mean, Happy New Year. So namaste.
What? It's freaking hard to sell a pay-per-view.
A lot of people not paying for them.
A lot of streamers.
I don't know who would do that.
You were just in your daddy's balls still. Y'all want some stake money? Go download Betr Picks. The NBA season is here. New users will get a deposit match up to $500. That's $500. Download Betr and use code BO.
That sounds awesome. That just reminded me. There was one birthday. I broke my leg leading up, the couple days leading up to my birthday. But I really wanted a PSP.
Yeah, dude, those are dope.
Yeah, and so that's when I made the most money, was when I had my boys over for my birthday.
Yeah.
Because all their parents would give me money.
Right.
And so I literally was laid up cast from my hip down, and I still had everybody over. We just watched a movie, and I just got all the cash.
You were like, all right, guys, I'm not accepting presents. I am accepting envelopes. Fill them with what you may, and we're gonna watch a movie. Dude, that's great though.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I've been, my wife, she loves the celebratory things, which it's not a bad thing. It's good. But I've been prefacing her with, I'm like, we're going to do birthdays this way.
Yeah.
It's also different, I think, for boys and girls. For girls, for some reason, birthdays seem like a bigger deal.
Yeah, that's fine.
I would literally be 100% cool with never celebrating my birthday ever again. It wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, but it's not something that I don't know. Maybe as a kid, you look forward to it a little more. But at this point, it's just kind of like...
It's just like you got to respond to a bunch of people.
Yeah. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't even fight. Why are you guys...
I don't even have your number saved anymore. So I have to look up the zip code and see where you're from. Or not the zip code. Look up the area code and see where you're from.
Yeah. My favorite thing, that's why my fight is the day after my birthday. My favorite thing is having a competition, because then you're exempt from responding to people. You don't have to do the whole thing. Yeah, right. It's just
That's how it was for me for most of my growing up. Because it was January birthday, so it was always wrestling season. Yeah, I remember one year. This was the best. One year, my parents, I think they maybe forgot or didn't prep or something, got ready. So my favorite cereal was Reese's Puffs.
Yeah.
So they gave me Reese's Puffs and $100 bill, and I was like, I loved it.
That's pretty dope.
It might not have been 100. It might have been a 50.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It felt like 100.
It felt like a lot of money.
Like $1 million.
Yeah, I was probably 13 or something. And I was like, oh, yes, this is amazing. It was the way they did it too was funny. They were just like, so it was a school day or tournament. Something was going on all day. And they said happy birthday and stuff to me in the morning. But then the evening, they're just like, hey, Bo, come here. They're just like, happy birthday. And just hand it to me.
That's great.
And I was like, oh, yeah, thank you. This is great. Literally not sad at all.
Oh, my parents did something cool. They would leave the present under right at the edge of our bed while we were sleeping.
That's cool.
So you wake up to
cool.
your present. That was cool.
That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
That is super dope.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. So you named your kid Ace. Did that come from your love of blackjack, or?
It's personal, so I don't know why you would ask that on the pod.
public. This is a public pod.
Yeah, that's really too far. Read the room. But yeah, his name is Ace. It's
a great name.
It's just a dope name.
Everyone I've told, every single person, they're all like, of course.
Yeah, why do people say
I don't know.
that? Why do people think I've got that reaction too, where people are like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That wasn't in my cards.
No, I just think it's a dope name.
Yeah, it is a great name.
It's a sick name. Yeah. Moving forward a little bit, both of you guys had fight announcements in the past week. Tony,
Yes,
March 10th.
Yeah.
Mr. Bo Nickal, April 13th. How are you feeling?
I feel good. I think it's a good progression. Eventually, we'll like to get on the same dates, but as close as we can get now without it throwing each other off, I think is perfect.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's nice to be in camp at the same time. I think be on the same schedule and stuff for me, and just with training and things like that. If you don't really have, if our gym's so small, if people are in and out and stuff, then it makes things difficult. I think so. If we're missing one or two guys, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's good for us all to be on the same schedule and stuff. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. I feel like I'm pretty tired from this week. First week of, I don't even know if I would call this camp, but first week of really getting after it. So I'm a little not getting as much sleep as I'm used to either.
Yeah.
So it adds to it.
Adjustment.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Are you going to fight anywhere other than Vegas in your career, or just Vegas strictly?
I'll probably fight other places. I would like to fight in State College at the Bryce Jordan Center.
The electric.
So that's something that I want to do. Main event BJC. And then I'll probably like to fight in Madison Square Garden again.
Mm-hmm.
I competed there in wrestling, and so I didn't go well for me. So I would want to run it back and, kind of do that over. But I like Vegas. Vegas is great. It's easy. The UFC has a good system there with host hotel, weigh-ins, Apex, got the PI, all that stuff. So, it makes everything pretty easy, and just, stay in the Airbnb off the strip. And I would say Vegas is probably my favorite place to fight. So hopefully I'll fight there a bunch.
Tony, any preference on, you're back in Texas, aren't you? Same spot?
Same exact venue and everything, which makes it easy.
That's awesome.
Well, and we should have Moose and maybe George, so we should have a lot of Penn State guys
on the same card.
It'd be crazy, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
George, Moose, and Tony all in the same card.
Yeah, it should be dope.
It'd be crazy, yeah.
It's going to be an electric weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah, for sure.
That is awesome. Speaking of fights, Bo, how do you feel that you got a new member in your weight class? Conor McGregor.
Oh, my God.
That's crazy. I didn't even put that together.
I had no idea what you were going to say. I remember in weight class, I was like,
that's wild. Those guys are fighting.
I don't know. I don't think they'll actually fight at 85.
You don't think?
I don't know. If they did, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
They both can make that weight, I feel like, pretty easily. I mean, McGregor's probably like 190 right now. How tall was he when you stood next to him? You guys met him when you were. I met him
briefly. I would say both those guys are around 190, maybe 185. I bet they both weigh 185. Actually, Chandler might be a little heavier. Chandler might be like 190. I would say McGregor's 180.
Yeah, I mean, McGregor made.
I would say McGregor right now is not more than 185 pounds. He's not any more than 185. No way. I think that Chandler, he could be more. He could be one.
He's short too, though.
Yeah, freaking thick though. I would say he's probably. I bet they're both right around that, like walking around 185. But yeah, I mean, I hope that happens at 85. That would be crazy.
That'd be funny.
It would be so. They will get so tired so fast. People don't realize this. Is what Tony obviously knows this, and I know this a little bit. But when you put on weight and then you go try to compete, you don't realize how carrying that weight actually makes you more tired.
Yeah.
There's a good amount to be at where physically you feel good and your cardio is peaked. And it's not when you're cutting too much. It's not when you're cutting none. It's like that little bit, And so I feel like those dudes they'll think, oh, I feel great hitting the pads. Yeah. And then they'll go out there and they're going to be like, first, if there's not a knockout in the first round, they're going to be like,
yeah, you're carrying a backpack,
like staring at each other. I mean, I'm sure they're probably factoring that in. So maybe that won't happen.
Wait, why 85? Aren't they 55ers?
Yeah, 55ers. But Chandler was like, I'll take you at whatever weight, blah, blah, blah. And then McGregor was like, doing it at middleweight, doing it at 185. And I think there's two options. Either one, McGregor actually wants to do it at 85, so he maybe weighs 180, 185, going to cut 0 pounds, go out there, get it on. Or two, he's trying to tell him that and then actually make it 55.
Yeah.
So he's like trying to bulk up.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be like, just kidding, 55. So we'll see if the bout agreement's signed and all that. Well, I'm sure it's not right now. I'm sure it's still in the works for, the negotiations. But
that's funny.
I'm excited about that fight.
Yeah. It's going to be electric.
June 29th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stack cards coming up.
There's some
in the
really
beginning
good
of
cards.
the year.
Yeah.
Well, and on your card too.
What's
Yuri.
my card? Yeah, your boy.
Yuri's fighting.
Who's he fighting?
Whatchamacallit?
Rakic.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Smash him first round.
Kind of loves
I don't know why you love him so much, man.
Dude, he's just like, that was the first fight that I ever bet on was Yuri Prohaska.
Versus who?
Dominic Reyes, the spinning back elbow.
That makes sense.
I was going nuts. It was the first fight I ever watched.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
there you go.
That's good for you.
You're going to root for him if we ever fight?
No. No, you're my second favorite fighter. He's my third.
Back and forth.
He's like, oh. See Ronan in the back. You knock him out, and he's like, oh. Yeah. Dang it.
I want to kind of save Sean Strickland, that whole card, for next week. So, but I do want to talk about Sean Strickland. Kind of. Did you watch any of like the clips from his podcast with Theo Vaughn?
I watched one clip and it made me so sad.
I didn't realize he went through all like.
I mean, I didn't listen to a lot. It was more just like he was kind of talking, and then he just started crying, and Theo started trying to kind of relate to him, and then realized that he was breaking down, and was just like, "You don't got to talk. Like it's all good." He was being really cool about it, but that made me so sad.
It was hard to watch.
It's like that was not something that you would want to see on a podcast, but I don't want to see anybody feel like that. But I just felt bad, basically. It's just sad.
Yeah, a lot of I don't know if it's unresolved or just a lot of trauma that goes deep.
Right.
And I watched like 30 seconds. I was like, I don't really want to watch this.
That's what I did. The same thing. I feel like Sean Strickland, obviously he's been through a lot. I feel like if you're teammates with him, he's gonna be great. Mm-hmm. Like if he was teammates with us, we would be boys. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
it would be like, yo, this dude's awesome, this and that. But because we're not, the one interaction I've ever had with him, he was a jerk. Yeah. So he was a jerk to me. But I feel like he's one of those guys. I'm like, we got to know each other. I think we would be cool.
Yeah, I just remember this was like years ago, maybe like 5 years ago. I was out in Cali with Coach Cal, and he DM'd me and was like, "Yo, we should wrestle, bro."
No way.
Really?
Let's see if I can find it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I just remember that. I was like, "Who is this dude?" At the time, it was like,
the time, right?
Yeah.
He had like long hair. He was like, I think he was a 45er back then, or 55er.
No, he fought at what are you talking about?
Dude, I'm dead serious. I think he fought
at 170. He never fought at 40.
He got cut. Then he get cut, and then he came back.
I don't know if he got cut. He lost it. No, I don't think so, because he only lost to Usman.
Oh, okay.
He's 3 losses, and they're Usman, Pereira, and Ponzinibbio. So funny.
Oh yeah, it was welterweight. You know he fought at light heavyweight?
Well, that's not that big. He fought in like a regional promotion?
Yeah, from 2009 to 2010.
Probably just fought what he weighed.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense. Speaking of training labs, dude, did you see the pic of TJ Dilleshaw?
Oh my gosh, he's huge.
He's yoked up.
He looks like a freaking bulldog, bro. He looks like a tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody just side-eyeing each other.
No, he says his nickname used to be Fat TJ, like out of camp.
Dude, he's not fat though.
I know. He's like bulked right now, but that was what they used to call him.
Fat Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh, you're spilling everywhere.
Damn it! That's what happens when I try to talk and sip.
Yeah. And
I'm soaked.
Yeah, put a jacket on.
Oh my gosh! Speaking of jackets, Tony.
What?
What have you left at my house over and over and over again? Your sweatshirt. So, I did something, and you're probably not going to be happy with me about it.
Bedazzle it or something?
No, I didn't bedazzle it. Even better, what I did was I put it on eBay.
Oh my God! What the
sweatshirt?
What's wrong with
Tony?
you?
Our used sweatshirt, pit stains included.
Pit stains are included. Starting bid. Starting bid.
Yo, I'm gonna
My wife
post.
will probably buy it.
Yeah, Julie bid $10,000.
It's a nice sweatshirt. I mean, I think it'll sell for maybe. I'm going for like $2,000.
That's crazy. You did that, bro.
Is that real?
Oh yeah, it's real.
Oh wow.
They should pre-own.
$1. So you can't. Yeah, it's pre-owned.
You all got a week, so 6 days, 23 hours. Keep bidding. Did you create an eBay account just to do that?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I almost finished your Rogan podcast.
You listened to that?
Of course.
Wow.
It's a little strange for me, so it takes a while.
Yeah, it's weird.
We talk all day, and then I go home, and I'm like, I don't really want to listen to this guy anymore.
I don't listen to it. I'm not listening to it.
No,
Maddie's been listening to it, and I'm like, stop.
It's good. You did a good job.
Thank you.
I appreciate the shout outs.
Of course.
It was you guys covered a variety of topics.
We talked about a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from that.
Good.
Nick Lee loved it.
Yeah.
Told me twice.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'm at the part where you start talking about the garage. It was so funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You're like,
that was hilarious.
I don't really want to talk about this.
I honestly immediately started sweating.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you just have him on? Also, just realized that I didn't have
the whole time.
Oh,
it's way weirder when the headphones are off.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really need it. The headphones.
Yeah.
What's the point of the headphones?
You don't need it. Keeps like everyone at the same noise level, so you're not like speaking over.
Oh, like yelling and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I hope. Coach Cal said he's warming up to the idea, so I hope.
Yeah, I know. Obviously Rogan said he would have him on.
Yeah.
I think he's talked about it before, but yeah, I would be just so funny. Yeah. Those guys are, I think, interested in similar things, but very different.
Yeah.
They're very different people.
Yeah. I just don't know how Coach Cal would go on and like not share
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like once you get his brain going and it'd be hard not to like explain things.
Right. And that was for me, even he started asking about some stuff and I was like, I'm not going to try to, one, I'm not going to tell him everything we do.
Yeah.
Out of respect and I don't want to give that information away. And two, I feel like I don't want to explain that much either. He was asking me about, he was like, well, that just seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know.
You're like, it's not.
I'm like,
yeah.
But listen, here's the thing. He was basically implying that just seems like too much. Like, I don't even know why you do that. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. I'm like, well, it does.
Yeah. We're like, tell him that.
Tell him that. I'm like, right? Yeah. It does make sense, you know?
Yeah.
I want like a Joe Rogan episode with like someone like Coach Cal, Huberman, and Carnivore MD, and just like battle it out.
Well, those guys
they would all be on the same page. Yeah.
They all agree with each other on most things.
Be the most informational podcast.
That would be awesome. And then like, throw Goggins in there.
Yeah, you need like those five versus like the top five on the other side.
You should do it versus the one trans lady who's the head of the health department. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like the head of the health department for the United States is a trans lady who's like super overweight and not healthy.
Yeah, throw her in there. Couple other people, maybe
the ladies from The View.
Well, there's your five.
There you go. Make them debate.
We're playing Heads Up. Like
The View.
Bunch of ladies sit around and talk to each other. The View.
Got it, dude. That was a real Four Christmases moment. For
us. Yeah.
Bro, how about who is the third on our team? Nolf?
Maddie.
Oh, it was Maddie.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it was Snyder, his wife, and
no. It was Nolf. Right.
I feel like the other team was Snyder for sure.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Yeah.
And one other person, right?
Maddie.
And Maddie.
Your wife.
My wife.
Yeah.
And then we had me and you and Maddie Nolf.
No, Nolf.
We had regular Nolf.
Yeah.
That's right.
And we hustled him.
Dude, oh my gosh, we hustled him. So at one point we were playing Heads Up with the crew I just mentioned, and we lost probably the first 5 games at least. We were getting destroyed. And somehow it gets brought up between me and Nolf and Kyle, like, let's throw some money on it. Like, all right. Kyle's like, how much you want to do? We'll do whatever. I was like, $50 a game. Let's go. $50 a game turned into $100 a game, turned into like $1,500 a person.
Yeah, it was just double or nothing. Like,
it kept doubling. Yeah. It was like we were all walking out there with,
and we couldn't lose a game after that.
So we won probably 20 games in a row.
Oh my god!
And at one point it got serious, and it was like Tony and me were just locked in.
Yeah.
We were just like, look, we had Nolf, and he was like,
yeah,
and we were just like locked in. Oh man!
Like that's what we said. One of them was The View, and he was just like, bunch of ladies sitting around in a circle talk to each other. We're like, The View, and he's like, yes.
That game is crazy.
It's so fun. It's a fun.
And then
game.
we just settled on Waffle Shop instead of the $3,000.
Yeah, instead of $3,000, I had to buy us Waffle Shop. Fair trade.
That is crazy.
You don't. That's what you don't appreciate it. So
I've never played.
Don't patronize us. Just
you weren't there. We weren't friends. You yet just give it up, man.
I don't even know who either of you people were.
Isn't it the worst? It's the worst when you're telling a story that you think is amazing, and someone just is like, "Yeah, that's crazy." Wow.
Yeah, that's something I will never do.
That's crazy. It's like, okay. That's what I say to my dad if he's telling a story and I'm on the phone with him and also surfing Instagram at the same time. I'm like, whoa, dang, that's crazy. He's and then I like, frick, I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
What's up, Dad? He's going to actually probably listen to this. Sorry. I don't actually do that. Let's your continue.
Move on.
I was just trying to think of like a segue, but there really is none. Mr. Beast new video. This is a harder challenge that I think that you guys could both get.
I love hearing about the Mr. Beast challenges.
Solitary confinement, 7 days.
Money. Did it for 5 years.
I don't think that you could do it. I think you could do it. I don't think you could do it. You're like an interacting person.
Yeah, but I'm also I'm very disciplined. I could just not do it for a week. What's the prize?
It was like, well, there was no prize. It was just a test of his mental. He did it.
Oh, he just went into solitary for 7 days?
7 days. All white room. Lights don't go off.
And he just got that sounds terrible, actually. Was it? Wow.
Do you think he actually does them?
1,000,000%.
1,000,000%.
He doesn't fake them.
That's a high percentage.
He doesn't fake he doesn't fake his videos.
I feel like I would never do that if not incentivized.
Yeah, he could do it. I would prefer to do it, but he would just do it.
Well, this is the thing that got me. Why do you have to be in a white room with the lights on the whole time?
Makes it harder.
That sounds. I know that, but why would I do that for nothing, for free?
They usually do the no lights.
I would be more likely to do it with no lights, or if I just had to be by myself, that would be no problem. But why would I do it for no reason? Just to prove you could do it.
Just to prove you could do it. He buried himself alive for 7 days too. Like, it's just for content, dude.
That one was a little tougher. That one I'd have to focus in on.
I don't like getting buried.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in getting buried.
So you think that you could do the solitary confinement?
I know I could do it. I just don't want to. If he was like, all right, you're gonna do this, and at the end of a week you get $1 million or you get a jet, I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what it would be because he did it because he gets 100 million views. So
yeah, it's for money.
Yeah,
that is true.
So if I got as much money as he made on his YouTube video, then I would do it easily. And I would actually skate through that, no problem.
Please tell me that's one of your 2024 goals is getting us on one of those obscene.
I want to do the tag challenge or one of the crazy ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some I've watched. I like the ones where he does like the dollar to like 10 million for like a boat or like a house or whatever.
Yeah, he did one with Tom Brady.
What's that one?
Yeah, he like builds up value of like a certain thing. So like starts with like a $1
like trades it
boat, and then no, he just like goes and visits it and like explains it. Then he goes to like a $10 million yacht and like goes on, and it's like dope.
So he just gets the whatever the item is. So boats, for example, gets progressively more expensive.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
How crazy is this for him to have the #1 ranking video on like his channel? It would have to be the most watched video ever on YouTube.
That's wild.
Because he has the most watched video ever.
Second most behind Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
That's the most viewed.
That's the most viewed video in 24 hours, like ever.
Oh,
yeah. The boat one is second, and it lost by 50,000 views.
Oh, not
really?
Many at all.
Yeah, not many at all.
Wow,
which is nuts to think about.
People love boats, I guess.
Yeah, I've seen that boat video. I haven't watched the whole video, but I have seen it. That's interesting.
That's wild.
I would want us to do the challenge where it's like you just got to hold your hand on something.
Yeah. That you got to get us on one of those.
I think that's too easy for you guys.
I mean, I don't think it would be. It would be easy.
Sometimes it's like 3 days.
But those people, the dudes, the hard part I think is when you start falling asleep and stuff, and you gotta like hold your hand on there while you're sleeping.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think it would be interesting to see you, like, both go head to head against it, like
each other.
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
Well, I mean, only one person wins.
I would just like if it was just us, I'd be like, oh,
we would have a deal right. We'd have a deal right before.
Or even I would just be like, if Tony got a Lamborghini or I would be equally as happy.
Yeah,
I would be like, dude, that's freaking sick. Like,
we'd be like, all right, same time. We lift it up. He's like, none of you guys win.
We're like, no. We'd have to go against other people. Because I would just be like, you win.
Yeah,
whatever. I wouldn't want to win.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's totally fair. How about in some NIL news?
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison Jr. got offered $25 million to stay at Ohio State for one more year.
From an Ohio State donor or what?
Well, I mean, like it's a bunch of different deals going a bunch of different ways. $25 million.
That's crazy.
It would be just as much if he was the #1 pick in the NFL draft. It was a signing bonus.
Yeah. What?
How crazy is that?
100% stay. Competing.
Wow.
Yeah, you get to compete. I feel like competing in NCAA football games is probably more fun. It's obviously not the highest level, but you just get to go off and enjoy your college career and do your thing.
We missed out on a lot of money.
Dude, we missed out on so much money. Oh, my gosh.
I just one of the craziest things about NIL is these college kids are going to walk out with millions of dollars.
Good for them.
Mil?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy money.
That's great.
$25 million. The show that I just watched over our little span of a break, I finally watched Ballers.
Oh, yeah?
Rock's cool.
Rock's cool. I like Ballers.
Ballers. And I figured that we'd go over each other.
I've never watched Ballers.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
I thought you were the one that you were talking about.
It's just from that quote.
Yeah. It's just from Nate Diaz saying,
Are
he was
you
like,
kidding me?
Nate Diaz.
Are you actually serious? I was like so excited to talk about it. Like, guys, we all just like, I was the last one.
Have you watched it? Oh my gosh. You're the only one that's watched it.
This is the worst bit ever.
You were so excited to like relate with some to us.
Sorry, bro. Yeah, that's the Nate Diaz.
Because with the BMF belt, The Rock put it around Masvidal, and he was like, F The Rock, man, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, nah, Rock's cool. I like Ballers.
Was it a good show? I've seen it. I think.
Yeah, it was great.
I never watched it.
It was great.
It's Denzel's son's in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And The Rock.
He's dope.
And The Rock.
Is he the main character?
Main character is The Rock.
Of course.
Well, it's The Rock.
Yeah.
It's The Rock. Speaking of Masvidal, though.
Oh, he says he's unretired.
Unretiring. Ben Askren just said that he would come out of retirement as well to rematch him at UFC 300.
Dude, that would be crazy.
That'd be wild.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think he's coming back for right now? Bare knuckle?
I bet he boxes or does a bare knuckle fight. Yeah. Bare knuckle, dude, BKFC against Mike Perry.
Oh my God.
Mike Perry called him out.
That. Yeah.
They would both make a lot of money.
That would be huge.
It'd be a good fight.
Yeah.
Masvidal could freaking box, bro.
And he can box
but
with
Mike Perry
gloves.
is like the ultimate BKFC.
Bro, I love his transition over that. He's like the man now.
He's perfect for that. It's perfect for him. Mm-hmm. There's not a guy that's a better fit for bare knuckle.
No. The only one would be Masvidal.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that.
Dude, that would be crazy, bro.
I thought that he was either going to go into BKFC or I thought he was going to box Jake.
Yeah.
That would be crazy, too.
That would also be crazy.
Wow. Dang, that would be wild. I couldn't imagine that if he boxed Jake.
Yeah.
But Jake's fighting in Puerto Rico, right?
March 2nd.
March 2nd.
He doesn't have an opponent yet. No? They just put out like 2 offers.
But he also said he wanted to start fighting real boxers now.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of defeats the purpose to fight Masvidal then.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd still be a huge fight.
Yeah.
Derek's going to fight on Island Fights at the end of the month.
Island Fights is where I fought, dude. Yeah. No way. Who's he fighting?
Like that's the thing. He doesn't have an opponent yet, but he'll
get an opponent.
Talked in the works. He posted on his story the other day.
On Island Fights amateur boxing?
Yeah.
Bro, one of the most insane
How is
shows
he going
I've
on
ever
Island?
seen.
How's he going on Island Fights?
Apparently his manager knows somebody.
Derek has a manager?
Justin, but
Justin was with FRM, so of course he knows Island Fights.
Oh yeah. Dude, one of the most insane promotions I've ever seen.
We got to talk about that. Have we ever talked about the Island Fights experience on the pod?
No.
All right, bro. It's a whole thing. This was before we knew you. So
you weren't born yet.
Yeah, you were just in your daddy's balls still. Just a little sperm swimming around. Oh man. Anyways, so I trained for a few weeks and then I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's get a fight. So Island Fights sets up a fight for me and this dude, David Conley from Atlanta. The dude is 1-0 amateur.
That was his name?
David Conley.
Wow.
And so they set up the fight and I'm going to be, I want to say, was I like co-main event or something?
Was that the Patty fight or is that the next one?
Patty.
Okay.
I think I was one of the lighter
You're up there,
fights.
yeah.
Yeah. And so the main event was Supreme Patty versus
another YouTuber.
Boom Gang.
Boom Gang. Yes.
Is it that guy?
Boom Gang. What's
I don't know. Is that
Johnny Gabbana?
Yes.
Johnny Gabbana was his name. And so we do the whole thing. It really was normal. Go down to Pensacola, get an Airbnb. I think we got there like a few days early and get down to weigh. Everything's good. But we get to the weigh-ins and I mean, I'm like doing normal wrestler stuff and sitting there rehydrating, like cutting weight. we go back to the scale, and it was in this little closet, and they were like, step on. All right. And I just looked at the weight, and like the dude didn't even look.
Yeah, no one cut weight.
I was like,
everyone had like a little bit of a belly. Like no one had cut weight the whole.
And so we got out, and everybody's eating Cheetos and like drinking freaking soda and stuff, and it's just a bunch of random dudes. Like nobody's actually training for this. I'm like, what is happening? This is insane. And so fast forward, we get to the fight, and I'm in the locker room like getting prepped, hitting the pads and stuff. Bro, outside is just chaos. People are like slamming 40s, smoking weed, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, bro. We're probably halfway through the night, so I still have a ways till I'm about to fight. Some dude just drops 2 chicks, like hits them, knocks them out cold.
What?
The police come. Yeah. Everybody's freaking out. People are running around in the back. Like I said, some dude knocked out 2 chicks.
Yeah, I think it was right after he fought.
Yeah, and then after Tony did it, he came back in the locker room and he hit out, and the police never caught him.
No, bro, there's just like a ruckus going on outside. So Coach and I like run out, and they're just like some dude like there's like 6 chicks on him, and like 2 of them are already on the floor, and he's like just like running through them. Cops are like running in. It's just complete chaos. And
insane.
So we just like go back in. We're like, all right, nothing's going on out there. Just keep hitting pads.
Yeah. So we just closed our door, and so I get prepped and ready, and I'm up now. So we go to the back to walk out on the stage and go out to fight. And I look at my opponent's on the other side, and I see him, and I'm like, he's wearing full shin guards. I have no shin guards on. I'm like, are we wearing shin guards, or what's the deal here?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, you got to get him. Somebody get him shin guards. Mad scramble. The dude walks out. I still don't have shin guards on. They call my name out. They start playing my walkout song. No shin guards.
Well, I knew the whole time he needed shin guards, but I thought he was like trying to get one by them. I was like, I don't think this is gonna work.
I wasn't thinking about that, and I was also just assuming that if we were wearing shin guards, they would have just brought me some shin guards.
Yeah.
And so because you're not supplying your own shin guards, so somehow they found the guy before me was fighting. They found these shin guards that were extra small and they were soaked.
Just like duct taped them on,
soaking in sweat, and they just pulled them up my foot. And my walkout song has been playing for 90 seconds.
Yeah,
and then. Duct taped them on, and so I get out to the ring, and normally they're like in this corner, blah blah blah, in this corner, blah blah blah. Dude, I step in the ring,
boxing
I turn around,
boxing ring.
It's a boxing ring. It's not an MMA cage.
Okay,
and so it's got the ropes and stuff. So I step in, and the ref goes, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're doing this." And meanwhile, I didn't know this at the time, but like my coaches and Tony were not even at the ring yet. They were like running up. Yeah. And so then he's like, fight. And I'm like, oh, let's go. Bro, the dude comes out in the wildest stance of all time. He's just like this, just straight armed, just freaking, just boom. And I'm like, all right, I don't know what to do with that.
It really threw me off. Bo was staying there for like a good 20 seconds.
I was like,
just was like straight, completely still.
Kind of side eyeing.
Yeah.
And he's just like doing this. And I was like, all right, okay. How about I'll just throw a punch and double leg him? Just throw a punch, double leg him. And
almost goes out of the ring.
Goes into the ropes in the ring. His head goes under the ropes, and I get him in a headlock. So I was head and arm like this, and his head, and I'm trying to pull him out and throw him, and he's not moving. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going? And I look, and the rope is over his head. He's stuck in the ropes, and then the guy pulls it off, and I throw him, and then he just spazzed and almost rolled me through. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh! So then I get on top. I hit him a couple times. I let him back up, which I don't know why I did that. And then take him down again. And then I got him in an arm triangle, and we're almost off of the ring. We're on the announcers. And I pull him back in, and then I choke him out cold, and he doesn't tap. He just goes out.
It was dope.
And just freaking head bounced off the canvas. And I was hyped. Got to win.
That's a legend.
So that's Island Fights.
Yes, that's Island Fights.
So there's going to be drinking, smoking in the back.
It's perfect for Derek's fight, though. First fight.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, I honestly want to go.
Yeah.
That would be great. We should pop down, like, if it's the right date, right before we go to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Bro, it would be insane.
Yeah, it's like January, it's supposed to be January 28th.
28th? Yeah. Oh, that's pretty
close.
I hope he gets a good opponent.
Yeah.
And I don't know, has he actually been training, or is he Justin holding pads for him still?
Well,
He hit 135, so he should.
Yeah, he benched 135, dude. He's chilling.
No.
He's chilling.
I need to talk to these guys and figure this out because I like Derek.
Yeah.
I think he should box and he can win a fight, but you got to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what he's going to fight at.
135, same as his bench.
I mean, it makes sense.
Those guys don't cut weight down there, so he's good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Another thing that I thought was wild that I saw the first clip of that I ever have, Karate Combat. Have you seen the clips of that?
That's a dope arena.
Yeah, it's sweet. I like that. I think that would be a nice arena to fight in.
Yeah. Well, it's cool, like BKFC, that like those avenues give guys that can't really become like champions in MMA because they're just predominantly strikers.
Right.
Like the karate guys, the street fighter guys, the brawler guys, like it gives them like an avenue to be super successful in, which is sick.
Yeah. It's just like the knockouts and stuff, I feel like are a lot harder than like a boxing match. Not like UFC, but like compared to like a boxing match.
Because they're in little gloves or
because they're in little no, they're little gloves, yeah.
Are they little gloves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Anthony Pettis and Benson Henderson just fought in Karate Combat. Yeah. Pettis won, I'm pretty sure.
That's cool.
Yeah. Super interesting. Something else that I thought was very interesting that I wanted to bring up is there's been some beef lately with Sean O'Malley and his pay-per-view buys. He hit I'm looking at the number right now, 350,000.
Really? Is that where's that source? Where's that number from?
This is from MMAweekly.com. So
very reliable source.
Very reliable. So I mean, like the whole point is a lot of people are saying that he didn't sell as much as they thought he was going to. But it's also his first title fight.
I also think people don't realize it's freaking hard to sell a pay-per-view. It's not like it's expensive. You have to buy ESPN Plus.
A lot of people not paying for them.
A lot of streamers. Streamers. I don't know who would do that. No, but
it's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like the days aren't the same as what they were, 10 years ago, where it was $50 for a pay-per-view and you just bought it on Showtime or whatever.
Right.
Where it was like, all right, just $50, boom, done. It's, there's 50 plus cards a year where I can watch all these fight nights for free or just on my ESPN Plus subscription. And it's like $70, $80 now for a pay-per-view. So I don't know. And I feel like people don't realize how hard it is to sell. So I think they scoff at 350K views, but I mean, that's like $30 million. So
that's it.
That's it.
Marvin Harrison is almost going to make that much money next year.
MMA is not really where football is at. And that's also not real business. That's just donors wanting to win. So they don't care.
It's true.
But yeah, I mean, you're doing 30 plus million in a weekend. That's not including gate and all the other stuff. So, I mean, they're
interesting.
That's a big, I mean, it's obviously, you see guys like John Jones doing $1 million. You see, obviously, Conor, he's going to do over $1 million every time. So those are legit real numbers, but I don't think that number's anything to scoff at. It's not like,
well, yeah,
you
obviously.
friggin' sold that's a lot of money.
People were just putting it in perspective that
just saying he's not as big a star as what people think.
And that was his first title fight. I mean, like
the Cheeto fight will probably do better, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
It was his title fight.
Well, Aljamain doesn't sell a lot either.
It wasn't like a big lead up to it. Like, it was just a title fight, but a lot of people were counting him out. So
yeah, there has to be a big storyline for people to buy a pay-per-view. It's just, Sean O'Malley fighting for the title against Aljamain. Okay, who really wants to see Sean fight Aljamain? Like, that's not a legit all-in MMA fan.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see that fight. Like, a lot of fighters want to see that fight.
Right.
All, like, real fans want to see that fight, but your average dude on the street, oh, okay, you got Aljamain and Sean O'Malley. Okay, no. But now you're like, oh, Cheeto Vera, Sean O'Malley. Mm-hmm. These dudes hate each other. They have history. Like, there's so much more build up and lead up that I feel like that'll be a better kind of tell of how well, like a real idea of how well he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with all that.
Also, fighters aren't really getting paid like per pay-per-view anymore. It's different with the ESPN deal and stuff. So, UFC is selling a lot and stuff, but it's also part of ESPN. So that's where people also don't really understand that.
Yeah. No, all makes total sense.
Does it?
I think it does.
All right, good.
For the most part.
Cool.
I think it's about that time.
Let's get deep.
Let's get deep. Just for some context.
Hey, what do you got there, buddy?
Nothing.
No, you got something.
They don't pay me any money, so I have nothing.
Show my man the dollars. Go ahead.
So, just for context.
Oh, frick. I didn't do this.
Everyone.
I'll pull one up, though, that I love.
Okay. It shouldn't be hard.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's so easy for me.
Just for some context, each of us are going to like just bring up a quote that we like, where it came from, what it means to us, kind of, and then just go into it.
I have a lot of these on my phone, so I'm good. You guys just start off, and then I'll...
Tony, do you have yours pulled up?
Yeah. I actually have a section on my notes called personal quotes.
Nice.
That you made?
Some of them are mine.
I like that. Yeah. Just reminds me of like the Michael Scott writing on the whiteboard. He missed 100% of the shots.
I have one by his name is Elder Porphyrios. He's a righteous person from the Orthodox faith, but he said, "Work as if you were immortal, and live as if you were on the point of death."
Wow,
I love that.
Yeah. So the way I interpret that is, live on this earth and become the best that you can be as if you were immortal by focusing on improving as a human being in mind, body, and spirit, but live and keep the mindset as if you were on the point of death. So being in this world but not of it, and keeping that higher eternal perspective of why we are here. So it's like a good blend of both, to where you don't get too caught up in the next life, to where you don't do anything in this life, but you're not so obsessed with every little thing in your current reality that you forget about what truly matters.
I like that.
I love it.
It's really good. Where'd you find that one?
It's a book called Wounded by Love. It's a really good book. I recommend it. I read it in 4th grade, and then I reread it a couple years ago. And
probably good you reread it.
Yeah, I think I got more from it when I was in 4th grade, but I was a little more open-minded.
You were a little more close to God as well.
Exactly. But it's very good.
I like that. Bo, you still looking?
This one's kind of dope. All right. Okay, here we go. I've been doing this for 15 years. After a while, you realize there's never a point in focusing too much on your last match. You just get ready for the next one.
Had to do with someone you liked when you were little.
I took the screenshot at May 5th of 2021.
Oh.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. This is like a trick question.
Is it you?
Yeah. That was me, bro. Dude, I don't know why, but I saw an article about myself, and I was like, I'm gonna read this, and that was the ending quote to the article. And I was like, this is the main meat of the quote. After a while, you realize there's never a point in focusing too much on your last match. You just get ready for the next one.
That's a good quote.
That's not my quote, though. That is my quote, but that's not what I'm going to use for this episode. I just thought it was funny that I screenshotted that.
You're doing a good job when you start screenshotting your own quotes.
Yeah. I think that was from when I was a freshman in college or something like that, too. Dang, I had a really good one somewhere. Go ahead, Ronan. Do yours.
Mine's from a book. I don't know what book it is. I can't remember it. But I remember seeing this, and I'm like, it's a great quote. One that stops digging may never find diamonds, but one who keeps digging may find diamonds. You'll never find anything if you stop, but if you keep trying, you might. So keep on keeping on. That's actually what I've named my company after. Keep on keeping on. That's kind of like the phrase that, things happen in life. You got to keep going. You can't let the past be the past. You have to let the past be the past. You can't dwell on it too much. Like, if you accomplish something, great, keep going. Something bad happens, great, keep going. Like, kind of keeping that mindset of keep moving forward, and obviously appreciate the things that happen in the moment, but you just have to keep moving forward. If your goal was to hit, I'm just going to use social media because it's what I'm into, right? Like if your goal is to hit 1 million followers, well, great. But like, if you don't do anything after that, then it's just like you dwell in that moment forever. Yeah. And that's like not what I feel like I'm here to do. Like I want to be able to keep moving forward and being able to garner a bigger goal at the end of the day.
I like that. Your company's name is Keep On Keeping On?
It's called KOKO.
Oh, that's dope.
So
that's awesome.
Shortened it. Keep On Keeping On was too long.
I like it.
I don't remember what this is from. Oh, okay. So the article was called Hard Choices, Building a DIY Life in Maine. And it was about a guy who I think like just homesteaded and did everything himself and tried to figure out all his own problems. All right. So it takes fortitude to say I'm going to see very little progress for sometimes weeks at a time, but that patience is eventually rewarded. I cast a wide net and then I wait. Eventually the answer pops up. And I just like the idea of, one, I think the first thing that I think of in that quote is the importance of delayed gratification. We talk about that a lot, and it's something that I think is very important in today's society where people want instant gratification and they want to instantly have what they want. But I think real, true, good things and achievement, they take a long time. You know, if you're just given something, then I don't think you are as grateful for it or really feel the weight of what it means. And I also feel like, and I like the idea that's the next quote or next part of it. So I like the idea too of when you don't get the answers that you want or you don't get the results you want in whatever you're trying to do, that to not be frustrated, to feel like, like it's easy to be down on yourself and to feel like, this is never going to happen for me. You know, I need to quit. I need to give up. I need to, change my goals and change what I'm trying to do. And I feel like the idea of making yourself unfrustratable, new word, I think that's very powerful. You know, I think that you can always, whenever a problem arises, it's never going to be helpful to be frustrated over that. You know, the only helpful thing is to assess the situation, what's going on, and see what improvements you can make and what you can do differently to get different results. Once you're frustrated, that's almost like a mini episode of quitting. Yeah. I think, you can't, if you feel frustrated, you feel frustrated, but it's just important to move past that. And ideally, make yourself more and more difficult to frustrate. I think that's important in fighting, because especially like with me, I've finished everybody in a minute. So what happens when the guy is more difficult to fight, when I can't get to what I want? Is it like, all right, frick, like this dude's not letting me beat him up? Or is it, just, all right, stay calm, stay patient, do your thing. And, I got 15 minutes to do what I need to do, or I got 25 minutes to do what I need to do. I feel like that is kind of the application in fighting. And I think it can be like that, insert whatever task you're trying to accomplish, whatever job you have. It's the same thing. You're going to have obstacles in your way. You get frustrated. All right, that's not helping solve it. That's not going to change your problems. It's not going to change the obstacle. Yeah, it's still that same challenge.
Yeah, I just read this quote today. In life, stress happens when you resist. Same is true in combat. Like you're saying, like if you resist and get frustrated or get out of your comfort zone when someone is throwing something crazy at you, rather than just staying relaxed, like seeing it, responding accordingly, flowing like a child, not like being so stiff and in your ways and like, it didn't go this way, so I'm like, now I'm like gonna freak out. Right. It's like the same kind of concept of what you're saying.
Absolutely. I feel like when I had to carry that rock up the mountain with Cam Haines, it was a great example for that, because no matter what, the mountain is the same distance. I'm getting closer to the finish line, but however far it is, like that's how far the rock is going. And the rock's the same weight. It's whether I'm 10% in, 50% in, 90% in, that rock is the same. Yeah. Yeah. People at least get tired and, maybe change or quit. There's a lot of people that have that in them where they're not going to be the same for the entirety of whatever the competition is, or, in the circumstances. But no matter what, the mountain was the mountain and the rock was the rock. Mm-hmm. It's like, gonna get it up. It's coming up. It's going to the top no matter what. And if I get halfway and feel frustrated, frick, like, oh, I got so much longer to go, or this rock's getting heavier. It's like, they don't care. Yeah. That mountain doesn't give a crap. The rock doesn't care. So
that's a good way to think about your goals too. Like you were saying about, like the quote was, cast a wide net, like not getting frustrated with the little stumbles along the way. Like you might put the rock down, you might like fall down, but if you know, if you know, no matter what, this rock is getting to that point. Like that's how I feel now. Like I know I'm going to achieve my goal because I've gone through the process of A to B so many times now. It's like, okay, I know I'm getting there. I'm just right here. So whatever it takes to get there and whatever I feel along the way, like maybe you don't feel like you're progressing or this goes wrong or that goes wrong. It's like, well, at the end of the day, I know it's getting to that point. So it's just like staying true to that and like reminding yourself of that, I think is really good for goals, because it can be easy to get caught in the process of it. Like, oh, it's so far away. It's like, no, well, if you decided in your mind you're going to get there, it's just a matter of time. It's like, just, are you going to continue in this process?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been thinking actually along those lines a ton lately, because I feel like what really helped me excel, one of the things that really helped me excel in college is I let go of being afraid to lose. And I feel like in fighting, I feel like that tendency creeping back, because they place so much importance on being undefeated and you're only as good as your last fight and these type of things. And I feel like my goal going, of course I want to win every fight, but my goal in fighting is not to be, I've never said, I want to be an undefeated this, that. I've said I want to be UFC champion and the pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. Like, of course I would like to be undefeated, but I don't want to place so much emphasis on the not losing aspect of it. I feel like that's kind of, going into college, that's what I wanted to. I was like, I'm going to be an undefeated 4-time national champion. And I'm like, well, I think that from everything that I've learned through those experiences and everything that we talk about at Penn State in the room, the more you focus on the result, of course, you want to have goals. You want to have things that you're setting yourself out to do and, things you're trying to accomplish. But I don't feel like it's as positive and you get 100% out of yourself when you just focus on the result. And so that's where I'm like, obviously I'm not ever planning on losing and I'm going to do everything I can, but my focus isn't not losing. My focus is I'm going to be UFC champion, pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. Whatever it takes to get there, it doesn't matter. I know I'm getting there, like you said. We're going from A to B, so whatever's in between, that's just part of the journey. Yeah. And I'm, all of those things I'm going to be grateful for.
Right.
I like that.
I think that, like, just taking a step back from that and just talking about the frustration when starting something, let's go over why it's the new year, right? Like, everyone's trying to start something new, right? Including myself. So why do you think it's so important to kind of push past that frustration when you start something brand new? Because that's what I feel like that's where a lot of people, it's going to be the end of January. Half the people aren't going to the gym anymore. Half the people have stopped trying to reach the goals that they want to achieve. Why do you think that frustration kind of creeps up on them and eventually becomes overwhelming to that point?
I think it's like the concept of no one wants to be the fool. Like, no one wants to do that period of time where you look foolish and you feel stupid because you don't know what you're doing. But I think going into it to, like, give yourself grace and know, like, okay, this period of time is going to be hard and I'm not going to judge myself. I'm not going to worry about what other people think about me. But I know at the end of the day, like, I'm going to get to where I want to go. And no one's going to remember that. And it's not going to matter. So, like, going into it with the right perspective, and knowing that, like, 30 days in when you want to quit, like, reminding yourself, oh, this is when everyone quits. So, like, if I just push past it and continue to focus on myself and not worry about all these other perspectives coming in, I will get there. And it's like the same process that every human goes through who's ever done anything significant. So it's just, I think it's realigning those perspectives of it before you get into it.
Absolutely. I would say that to kind of compound on that, a lot of It's something about like if the why is strong enough, it'll overcome anyhow. You'll figure out how to do it as long as your why is strong enough. And so, if that why is maybe a little vain or shallow, then maybe, that's not going to last. But if you really know and understand why you're doing what you're doing, and it's purposeful and it's meaningful to you, whatever it is, it could be anything. As long as it's meaningful to you, then I think that you can overcome whatever barrier that you're facing in that moment, whether it's at the beginning stages of, trying to get into routine, trying to figure it out, you're learning a lot and just getting to a point where you feel comfortable doing what you're doing. I feel like as long as you can go back to why you're doing it and it's strong enough for you, for that individual, then you're going to make it happen. And so I would say before you decide to do something, it's important to think on it, pray on it, meditate on it, and ask yourself, why am I trying to do this? If it's for reasons outside of yourself that have to do with opinions of others or have to do with, the image you're portraying, things like that, then maybe it's more important to look deeper and solve other problems first.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Do you guys have like some people, besides setting goals for their year, they come up with like a word that they want to live their year by? Did you guys do anything like that? Have you done anything like that before?
I've done that before. I've been thinking about a lot of this stuff and the resolutions and the word for the year and things like that. And the more I think about it, I don't believe in it because I just am. If I feel like there's an issue in my life, I'm not going to wait till January 1 to change it. I'm just going to make the change now. And I understand it gives people a little extra oomph and motivation and stuff, but that's what I'm talking about when I say the why is not strong. It's like, oh, new year, new me, that type of thing. It's like, no, you're the same person. If there's some type of issue in, your character or your lifestyle or things that you're doing, you should just make that adjustment whenever that comes to the real, you come to that decision. Because that's why I feel like people fall off is they feel like, oh, I'm going to try to do things different this year. And it's almost like it's like a built-in coping mechanism. And oftentimes too, for example, let's say people want to stop drinking. They're like going to go super hard December 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st. And then all of a sudden they're going to go cold turkey. And it's like, well, that's not really the point of what you're doing. The point of what you're doing is like, what's your why? Why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I don't know. I think it's good to have a word and to have something on your mind that you're trying to get better at. But I just don't think that you need January 1 to kickstart you.
I think it depends on the person too. Like, not everyone's in that mindset. Sometimes they need like that. We were talking about motivation in general. We were saying that kind of how the whole rah-rah thing is kind of BS, but like the actual inspirational, the John Gordon guy, this is how I'm just going to phrase the example. Like he actually gives methods. It's not like yell in your face, right? But I think some people, in order to get to a point of success, the word success is just what I'm thinking of off the top of my head. But to get to that point, they kind of need that push off the bridge, yell in your face kind of moment. So I think it really depends on the person rather than, obviously, like we all have goals, right? All three of us do. And there's probably one main goal that we all are trying to go for, right? But there's also like little ones that you might want to try and achieve. Like maybe it's, I don't know, growing a mullet for you, like whatever it is, like growing a good beard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something like not very significant, but something that you could like start. I think that's what those New Year's resolutions are kind of for.
Yeah, you couldn't catch me dead with a mullet, first of all.
Stop using toothpicks. I don't know, man. Like something like along those lines.
I would never.
Why are you? I don't know. You lost me.
Yeah, I think the point is to combine what both you guys are saying. I don't really see January 1st as like different than any other day of my life. It's like I'm setting goals constantly. I'm always focused on improvement day in and day out. And I think if you have that perspective and a word of the year helps you, or like I like to like at least reevaluate what I did that year, what I can learn from, what I can do better, and then set some overall goals for the year. But I think as long as you're the same person on January 1st as you are 6 months down the line, that you're still setting goals, you're still trying to improve, then it shouldn't be like this huge day where like I set this word and I set these goals, and then like you're saying 30 days later I'm a different person. I think you can use it for what it is, like it's the start of a new year and it's significant, but if you're not that same person 300 days into it, then at least with the same focus and motivation, then it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like if it's good for you and it motivates you to, you know, find whatever it is what you're looking for, then that's amazing. I just feel like that's a shallow reason to start something. Oh, January 1st, now I'm going to start doing this. It's like, well, you have to wait to January 1st to do it. So do you really want it that bad? If you want it that bad, you'd start it on June 28th or whatever, or February 38th. And you just do it. Or March 9th. You just start it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just naming days now. You can just start it.
Yeah. Yeah. It shouldn't be any other day.
Right. What do you think? You disagree. Just
I don't know.
Move on. You like resolutions. You like New Year's. You probably want to put one of those little hats on and blow a streamer.
Well, I mean,
Happy New Year.
so my New Year's Eve, I decided to fast because I knew nobody else was doing it.
Nice.
I like it.
That's like, you guys have been telling me that for like a really long time. Like you with the car, like running the car in the middle of the winter, and like the Timbs. And I was like, what do I do that like makes me significantly, like no one else is doing this?
That's good.
So I was like, F it. Fast New Year's Eve. I went to Champs. I was the only person there ordering club sodas with limes. And I was like, looked around. I'm like, wow, I'm the only person doing this.
That's dope.
And that's like,
good, man. Yeah, seriously. Yeah. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Keep it rocking.
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to, I told Tony.
You don't got to fast forever.
Yeah.
But like if you haven't eaten since New Year's, you should probably.
You started it on New Year's, so.
I told Tony, I was like, I'm going to do it. I gave Tony a range. I said 1 to 3 days. And I got to the second day.
Yeah, you can't go give a range because you're gonna
I broke. Right.
Yeah, no range. You gotta just boom. Yeah. This is it. That's what I'm doing. 1 day's a good start though. It's great.
It's a good start. Not to blow Moose's spot up, but he was doing the 3-day fast with me, and like 20 hours in, he was like, "Dude, how you doing? I'm starving." And I was like, "I'm pretty hungry, but like it'll get better." And that was the last I heard from him.
He had a cupcake.
Yeah, the third day I hit him up, was like, "Yo, 6 hours left." He's like, "I'll call you in a bit."
He didn't make it.
He calls me up. He's like, "Dude, I made like 30 hours in, and then I started feeling like lightheaded. The TV started looking weird. I started Googling things, and I was like, all right, you're screwed. If you
can't Google."
Dude, he thought I was gonna die. So
this is also the hard thing. We love Moose, but you're very disciplined, regimented with your diet. Like, you're hydrated. You're on point. You're eating a lot every day.
Yeah.
You're eating your 6 eggs in the morning. Like you're doing that every day. And so going in, it's like your body's not going to freak out.
Yeah.
It's not already there. Like Moose might not have been fully prepared.
Yeah.
To do that. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he probably also was like just very active. I could just imagine him fasting and like running around at the same time.
Yeah.
The first 12 hours.
I told him I think he hit pads the first day, and he was like, I feel pretty good. And the next day,
that's gonna catch you.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta chill out because
can't do that.
Yeah.
I did some research into mine, so I started mine instead of doing it like how you did it. You start at like 6:30.
Yeah, I like to start after dinner because I like to do two. I don't like to do the nights. I struggle to sleep if I don't eat, so I like to only just do 2 nights instead of 3 nights.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did it 11:30 in the morning, and then I did it till like the next day, which I thought was like, because I thought I was gonna get like really hungry at night. But like, I think being out and like about, you kind of forget about it. That was the main thing that I realized, that like you need something to kind of distract you.
Yeah.
And then when, you're watching Ballers and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's eating a big old steak and you're sitting there like, man, that'd be great. I also like drank coffee during mine. So
yeah, I did that the first time. This time I didn't. But the first time I did that, and you're just drinking coffee and not eating, I felt like my mind can go all day. Like I had no break whatsoever.
It wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was just like I could just do whatever I wanted, like mentally for unlimited time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Were you drinking caffeinated coffee?
Yeah. The first time I did it.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I did decaf because I was like, I feel like if I take a sip of coffee right now, I'm gonna like bounce off the walls.
Just blast off, man.
Feel nauseous.
Yeah.
But I think it's great stopping point.
For sure. Thank you, boys, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us this evening.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste.